Well, my stream was suspended. So there's that. I don't know what to say about that. Maybe because I like changed my video and I had it big as opposed to me being like bigger. Like instead of having it like this, I had it, you know, I had it like this. So what's up, Q? What happened? I think my guess is that I had it like this as opposed to like this, which I typically have it like this. Like if you look at all my streams, I typically do the playback like this, but because I guess I had the video larger, it looked like maybe it wasn't like they call it transformative content, like you're supposed to transform the content and maybe talk more about it. I'm not really sure what happened, but you know, I'm gonna finish out what I was saying. And hopefully people could go back and look at that stream before or after it's suspended. It really sucks that it got suspended. But that's okay. You know, we're here now. I don't really know. I don't know how to navigate this. I guess what I can do is we were having an amazing conversation about this championship game. Go ahead and you can still check out my last stream, even though I think it says it's suspended. I think you can maybe still watch it. I don't know. Anyway, we're going to keep it pushing. It was a really fun game to watch, nonetheless, because of obviously basketball. It was fun to see them afterwards in their celebration and how excited they were. Again, the prize was $500,000 divided among them. And then they also, because it was sponsored, the Commissioner Cup was sponsored by Coinbase, they managed to notch in $120,000 in cryptocurrency split amongst each of the members of the team. They each got $5,000 in cryptocurrency. So that was a pretty cool, and also just like their first ever Commissioner Cup. I wish Minnesota did the back-to-back, but for now nobody's managed to do it, and Indiana Fever are gonna go down in history. So let's see, where does that leave the standings now? Let's take a look. Which, I thought that all of this counted. The Commissioner Cup game, does it not count to their overall record? Because, guess we'll just go to standings. Let's see. It says probably was definitely too big, and they maybe thought you was streaming a game. I don't know. YouTube be tripping. It ain't crazy like Twitch. I was thinking about going to Twitch. Like, I think I want to, like, start exploring Twitch a little bit more and seeing what we can do with that. Like, where, you know, what that would look like. And because I already started building a community on YouTube. So to go to Twitch, I can do that. But I don't know. And then also, my computer is only 8 gigabytes of RAM. So I do need another computer. Like, that also is something. So it looks like this Commissioner Cup did not count towards the overall record because the Minnesota Lynx are still 8-0 home. They're the only team in the league who is undefeated. And let me go ahead and go to this. Okay. So Minnesota Lynx, they're 14-2, 8-0 at home, still top of the league. Now, Indiana Fever, 8-8. They're top 8. C means one Commissioner Cup. Okay. I was like, what does that mean? Okay, so I mean, looking at these standings, right? And we're halfway through the season because 16 games, 16 to 17 games played between each of the teams, and they play a total of 42 or 47. One of the two. So we're halfway through the season, almost, not really, like almost halfway through the season. And just based on how we keep seeing upsets and like we're literally witnessing upsets these past few weeks, it's anybody's game. Like, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, it could be anybody. Could the Dallas Wings make their way up? I don't know. Me personally, I look at these teams, right? New York Liberty's been struggling. Seattle Storm's been struggling. Could we see Golden State Valkyrie take Seattle Storm? Take their spot? I could see it happening. Let's go to the conference view. Can the Suns make their way up? They got to win every game for the rest of the season, bro. Hey, yo. 2 for 15 is crazy. At least they won 2 games. Okay. And one of those games was against Indiana, by the way. All right, so just looking real quick, since I can't do the playoffs of since I can't play the playoff video, we're just gonna look at the conferences real quick. Minnesota's leading their conference, obviously, and it looks like, just based on win-loss record, it looks like the West is better than the East. If we're just counting how many teams are above the top 8, it's more dominated by the West currently. So, a little fun call out there. Who has the best away record is the Minnesota Lynx. Well, we can shout out the Connecticut Sun for having the longest lose streak. They're beating everybody in that. That's a win. A win is a win. A win is a win. Okay, let's move on to the NBA. Won't be a long stream today, but not gonna lie. Okay. So we talked yesterday, so check out my stream from yesterday, and if you're on the stream now, check out the stream from like 15 minutes ago, where that really does an in-depth explanation of the Indiana Fever versus Minnesota Lynx Commissioner Cup game. And maybe, who knows, like, I just gotta start editing videos, right? I gotta start posting videos so that we don't have to run into this issue, and I can, like, I gotta start posting videos with edits. I just have to. I need a better computer. All I had was $1 and a dream to make something happen. At least they'll get, hopefully, projected number 1. Oh, how does that work? Does the WNBA have a lottery too, or is it just based off of like whoever had the worst record then gets the number 1? Because I know Indiana had the worst record when they got Caitlin. So is that how they do it? Like, whoever has the worst record gets the number 1 pick? ? Gotta look into that. While we do that, let's talk about NBA free agency. Go check out my stream where we go in depth. But right now, let's just roll through all 30 teams, a quick breakdown, and you can check this out on the NBA.com website of just like each team and who re-signed, who got added, and who's leaving. So currently, as of today, and again, the moratorium does not lift until July 6th. So in this period where the moratorium is set, this is where teams can verbally negotiate contracts, and then we have to wait for all of this to clear. So remember, in the mid-season or towards the end of the season, this past season, Mark Williams and Dalton Knecht were traded. However, it did not stand. They ended up, I guess, whatever they saw Mark Williams was like, whatever he got going on, his stock value went way down, and that trade did not clear. So all of this is showing right now, unless it shows up on the NBA transaction list, because this is the free agency tracker. Unless it shows up on the transaction list, it has not been cleared or official. So trades like Desmond Bane from the Memphis Grizzlies to Orlando for Cole Anthony and Contavious Pope, that's cleared. That's done, kaput. Similar with Drew Holiday to the Blazers. I think that deal is sealed too. So again, there's deals out there that are not sealed yet, and so this is all allegedly. This is pending. That's the word. It's pending. Okay, so Atlanta Hawks, we'll start there. I think this is going to go alphabetical order. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, he agreed to a 4-year deal alongside Luke Kennard, who agreed to a 1-year deal, and then Kristaps Porzingis joins the team as well. And again, if you check the video out yesterday, we can see more in depth, or we can even, matter of fact, let me just pull up this as well. So I have, this website is called Spot Rack. It's called Spot Rack. And this is, you can do team by team, and I'm way zoomed in right now, but we can actually see here what the contracts are and stuff like that. So Luke Kennard, he agreed to a 1-year, $11 million contract. Nickeil, it doesn't tell us how much. Yes, he agreed to a 4-year, $62 million contract. And then Kristaps, he was traded, does not tell us what his contract is looking like. So, we can go look that up at some point. Not right now. So already, and who did they lose? Clint Capella is gone. He's now on the Rockets. Karis LeVert, he's now on the Pistons. Dennis Schroeder is gone from the Pistons, by the way, but we'll get there. Larry Nance Jr. is gone. He's to the Cavs. George Niang, he's gone. He's now on the Celtics. And then Terrence Mann, he's gone, and he is on Brooklyn. So when we get to Brooklyn, you'll see Michael Porter Jr. on there, who got traded for Cameron Johnson. You'll see they're on a rebuild, and they're gonna probably build around Michael Porter Jr., Terrence Mann, and probably Zaire Williams, and whoever else big is there, because I don't think Nicholas Claxton is gonna stay. But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation, another bag. We're on Atlanta right now. I don't think so. If you were to go to the rosters on the NBA right now, I don't think you'll see any of this really sealed yet. But it's interesting that they got a shooting. They're not shying away from getting their shooter. So what they have, Jalen Johnson still there. They re-signed Dyson Daniels with Nickeil, who for the Minnesota Wolves was a decent perimeter defender and presence. He averaged 9 points per game. So I can imagine, with Karis gone, George Niang gone, Terrence Mann gone, all these guards that kind of bring around the same type of scoring, that Nickeil's probably going to come through with the $63 million contract and show us what he can do scoring-wise, now that he's not in the shadow of Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards, and Dante DiVincenzo, for example. And then you got a shooter with Luke Kennard with just a chill 1-year, $11 million deal. That's not nothing to really sneeze at, 11 mil. So Luke Kennard proved his shooting capabilities coming from Memphis and beyond. And then Kristaps. So you got Trae Young, Kristaps, Luke, Nickeil, Dyson, Jalen Johnson. I ain't mad at this Hawks roster at all. And I'm pretty sure I'm missing other people, but wait, it's this complete Hawks roster. Hold on. Is it updated though? Because it wasn't updated yesterday. No, it's not. Look, Karis is still there. But maybe towards the end of this week it will be updated. Well, I guess right here it says how acquired, and I guess it tells us, but They're definitely guard heavy. Yes, sir. Okay, let's see what the chat's saying. They have a lottery, and WNBA lottery only do the 4 worst records. Okay, all right. Them ATL hostile fire. Dame, wait till we get Dame. Everybody who's here, wait till we get to the Dallas Mavericks. Out of all the teams yesterday that I went over, the Dallas Mavericks had me shook. I was like, hold on. And Jason Kidd re-signed. And we're going to talk about the Knicks because there was news that Mike Brown is pretty much about to be chosen, which I thought Dawn Staley was going to become the first woman NBA head coach ever. But Mike Brown, I like Mike Brown, so I think he's going to be a cool addition to the Knicks. What's up at INZO Media? Glad to have you here. Again, I appreciate all of you who joined this chat, this channel. You've been back. Welcome back. I appreciate you every day. Like, I see y'all in the chat, and it just makes me smile and brings a lot of joy to my soul. Okay, so Boston Celtics. What's happening here? We currently have Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum out on injury, so the Celtics were like, we need a backcourt. We need people who still have this ability to score. And so what did they do? They traded off Drew Holiday and got Anthony Simons. He signed a deal. Josh Minott, Luke Garza, and George Niang. I think I'm saying his name wrong, like Jorge's. Is it Jorge's? Just because it's like an ES here. Yeah. So Drew Holiday's gone. Luke Kornet is to the Spurs. That's another team I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm excited to see, because Luke Kornet was already a solid front court player. So him going to the Spurs, I can only imagine how much better he's going to get being on that team, because they are known to develop their big men, known to develop their players, period. So I'm excited for Luke Kornet. I feel like that was a perfect acquisition for the Spurs. Anyway, and then Kristaps Porzingis, he's out of there. So Boston's being real subtle. They still got some people in their free agency, like Al Horford. Like, will Al resign? And I think that's it as far as like who they got on their free agency. I don't remember like seeing Peyton on there or anything like that. So yeah. Okay, here we go. Brooklyn Nets. So De'Aaron Sharp, he's returning for a 2-year deal, and so is Zaire. And that's smart for them, because Sharp, to me, if he knows Nicholas Claxton is on his way out, then Sharp, I feel like, because to me, I feel like Brooklyn, just based on everything they got going on, they're going to have just a whole bunch of stretch forward, two-way guard, stretch forward guys. D'Angelo Russell is on the Mavericks, by the way. Again, we'll talk about that. But yeah, so Terrence Mann, he's on the team now, and alongside Michael Porter Jr., who I was saying yesterday, I'm going to say it again. Michael Porter Jr. had a terrible season this year. It wasn't terrible, I'm being dramatic, but it was bad for what he's done in the past, especially in the playoffs. Like, where was he? What was going on? And I'm curious and excited to see, like, how is MPJ going to be now that he will be the primary scorer for this Brooklyn Nets team, in my opinion. I feel like he's going to at least be one of the go-to guys. Will he be a leader, or will he kind of just continue to play like a Catholic high school boy? Like, you feel what I'm saying? That's like his game to me. He plays like a college/Catholic high school player, not gonna lie. So I'm curious. I'm interested. This team did terrible this season. I'm hoping even Terrence Mann, because I feel like Terrence Mann has the ability to score and finish. And so when he was on the Clippers, I was like, okay, do more. And he would like have a chance to score and he would pass it up. So I don't know if it was like him just trying to know his place alongside James Harden or whatever the case may be. But I'm hoping when he gets on this team that he shows us the type of scorer that we all know he's capable of being. He be pissing me off. I'm not going to lie. Cam Johnson's now on the Nuggets. D'Angelo Russell is on the Mavericks. I cannot wait to get to that team because it's sick, their team. And then Trendon Watford went to the 76ers. Okay, Charlotte, let me check chat real quick. What's up? Playoffs MPG. He had an injury but played through it. So what? So did what's his name? Gordon. So did Gordon. Aaron Gordon had an injury too. He was dropping freestyles on Spotify and he had an injury and he still was showing up. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it at all. They getting paid millions of dollars. I don't want to hear it. Okay. To the Charlotte Hornets. This is a shock to me because I did not see this yesterday. Trey Mann agrees to a 3-year deal. So he's re-signing, which he had a really bad back injury. Here goes another injury. So he was out like the entire season, but he was very promising the season before for the Hornets. So to see him go down and be out like the whole time was like, damn, bro, kind of forgot about you. So I'm hoping with a 3-year deal, the Hornets see his value. And I hope he comes back and surprises us with how he plays. He looks just like AI out there. Like his size, the braids, the band. It's crazy. Okay. So they added Pat Connaughton from the Bucks. Spencer Dinwiddie. This again is new. This was not here yesterday. I'm glad we're going through this. Spencer Dinwiddie is leaving the Mavs because he sees how nice they are and where he will not fit in. Like he contributed alongside Najee Marshall last year. This past season when Kyrie Irving went down, it was like at one point it was him, Quentin Grimes, Dante Exum, Najee Marshall, like all these guys were interchangeable, but it started to be like Najee and Spencer emerging as like their leading scorers when Kyrie went down, alongside like PJ Washington and stuff like that. I'm not gonna knock what PJ do, but I'm just saying it was those guys that like kind of stepped up. And so Spencer going on free agency and only signing a 1-year deal, he's definitely that type of player that just like, he's not ever going to really find a home, in my opinion. Mason Plumlee. I'm glad he got out of Phoenix because Phoenix does not develop anybody. I feel like that's where front court goes to die. Like if you're on your way to Phoenix, because what did they do for Bol Bol? What did they do for him? So I'm glad Mason Plumlee got out there, and hopefully the Hornets will recognize his worth. Because what? It's going to be him. And then Colin Sexton, which was a great grab. So it's going to be like LaMelo, Colin Sexton, Brandon Miller, who hopefully he comes back from injury ready to go. Miles Bridges. They got rid of Nurkic. Let's do a celebration. I'd take Mason Plumlee over Nurkic any day. I'm being a little dramatic right now. Like, be for real, Bree. But I don't like Nurkic at all. So I'm being dramatic. And then the Mark Williams going to the Suns. Like, that's how you know it's bad. When Mark Williams, who got traded for a first round pick, going to the Suns, good luck. Good luck to you and Nick Richards at the Suns, brother. Good luck. Free Melo. I want to see my boy play meaningful ball. What's up? I'll name this YT later, which I feel like is YouTube later. I don't know. What's up? Welcome to the chat. Welcome. Oh, hold on. My computer is about to die. We're just talking big stuff about the NBA free agency right now. Okay. But yeah, I look forward to watching the Hornets play. I very much am. I want to see how much longer Melo got at the Hornets. I feel like it's not that much longer. And looking at Lonzo's contract, which was what? I don't know how long he signed for. I feel like he only signed for 2 years. There was like rumors circulating where would they end up on the same team eventually, him and his brothers. So I don't know. Okay, Bulls. Chicago Bulls, they're re-signing Trey Jones. Very smart. He's coming off like a foot injury, so I think he's going to be ready to go when the season starts. In a 3-year deal, I'm excited because him, Josh Giddey, Isaac Okoro, Kevin Herter, Patrick Williams, Ayo Dosunmu, Kobe White. I'm not mad at it. And the Bulls, they have a specific type of play style, which I think these like younger, faster guys, I'm excited to kind of see what they do with it. Now, they're not like super fast, but they're younger than the team that they had before with DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine. But Zach LaVine's kind of young. He's also one of my favorite players. I don't know why. But yeah, Lonzo's out of there. So let us keep going. Oh, they also have Jalen Smith, who came from the Pacers, who I think he's a solid front court player. He just doesn't like stay healthy, and he fouls a lot. So I can't wait to just see how all of that's going to look. What's up, Kelsey? The bailout queen. Now I'm starting to understand your profile a little bit more, because that is Kelsey Mitchell. You are a diehard Indiana fan. Congratulations to your win yesterday. We covered that. You might gotta click on my other stream because they banned it, but hopefully you. I don't know what's going on with that, but click on my other screen. I talked about that at the beginning. So yep, there's that. Okay, Cleveland Cavaliers, Sam Merrill, he's returning for a 4-year deal. That's like their primary shooter. And then they added Lonzo Ball and then Larry Nance Jr., which this is new. Did not see this. Larry Nance, he came from the Pelicans. He was on the Hawks, and now he's on the Cavaliers. And he's going to be playing alongside Evan Mobley, Jarrett Allen, and he's already aggressive. Like, he's like a solid big. Like, I'm not mad at his presence on the court. He's somebody that you can bring on the second string unit. Keep him in the second unit. Bring him off the bench. I like that. I like that for them. Give Evan Mobley a rest. If he gets hurt again, you got Larry Nance Jr. And I'm honestly, I'm not mad at that. And then Ty Jerome's gone. He's to the Grizzlies, but we'll get to that. And then, we just talked about Isaac Okoro going to the Bulls. So I'm more excited about this Larry Nance Jr. trade. I'm curious to see how they use Lonzo Ball with Spider. And Darius Garland's hurt. So, when does Darius come back? I don't know. It's an interesting, I'm not too excited about this, but I am excited about that Larry Nance Jr. And they lost a really good scorer with Ty Jerome. But they still got Max Strus. I forget, they still got Max Strus, so. Did I watch the game live? Jay said, did I watch the game live on YouTube? No, I watched the highlights live, but I've done that before. I've every single stream I've done so far, I've watched the games live, but instead of having it like this, I did a new camera today and I had it like this. So I'm just thinking that because it was like bigger, they suspended it and it looked like maybe I was just out here trying to just redo a game. I don't know. Larry Nance been back. It's like, no, he just came back. Yeah. He's back to the Cavs. Let me move this back there. Okay, so what are y'all thoughts so far in what we've covered before we move on to the Mavericks? I can't wait to talk about the Mavericks. Woo! What do y'all think? How y'all feeling? How you feeling about basketball right now? How you feeling about all these trade madnesses? Is it one of the craziest NBA free agencies you ever seen? Or you're just like, I've seen better. What you thinking? All right, while that comes in, let's talk about it. The Dallas Mavericks. So Kyrie Irving re-signed a 3-year extension. Now, he did opt in for less money, which tells me he likes the system. He likes where he's at. And it's been a while since we've seen Kyrie like where he's at. It's coming out of that the Brooklyn Nets ordeal. But I'm just saying, Kyrie Irving, he is happy to be here. He's happy to take less money, especially with his ACL injury. But I'm sure, like him, Jason Kidd, everybody else in the league, he sees the future and the potential of this Dallas Mavericks team. And I will, matter of fact, pull this roster up because it is sick. Daniel Gafford, they don't have this here, but Daniel Gafford did re-sign. I don't know why it's not showing on this list, But I could pull it up. We talked about it yesterday. He is in fact re-signing. So hold on. We'll go here. We'll pull up the roster. We'll also pull up how much they're re-signing for. Like, it's ridiculous, this team. This is his best chance to get another ring. I 100% agree. With D'Angelo Russell agreed to a 2-year, $11.65 million contract. And that's another thing. That's what I'm saying. Luke Kennard's contract, like, we cannot sleep on that because he got 1 year for $11 million, while D'Lo is getting 2 for $11.65. I'm just saying, Luke Kennard, D'Angelo Russell, they're two different players, but anyway, I guess the Dallas needs as much cap space. D'Lo see the potential too. They also have Cooper Flag, Kyrie, Daniel Gafford. He agreed to a 3-year, $54.38 million contract. And they still got Derek Lively. Bro. Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, PJ Washington, Najee Marshall, D'Angelo Russell, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. I mean, I just keep going on and on. Let's go look at it. They still got Dwight Powell, who I'm not saying he's like great, but he exercised his $4 million player option. He's like, you know what? I got like 4 people ahead of me coming off the bench, but I still want to be on this team because I think we finna get a ring. Let's look at their roster, bro. Max Christie? I forgot. Like, come on. Their second unit alone is nasty. Jaden Hardy? Come on. Come on, y'all. Klay Thompson? Like, come on. I mean, god darn. Like, could this be Klay's comeback season? I'm getting really excited about this. You would have thought I was a Dallas fan. Let's see. They got to stay healthy first. Yes, but even if they don't stay healthy, look at who they got for the backup. Look at what they I ain't mad at it. But D'Angelo got to show up every game in the playoffs. He can't lay down in no game. Dame said, Battle of Texas going to be lit. I said that yesterday, Dame. See, we on the same page, bro. Texas is lit right now. The Spurs are lit. The Rockets are lit. And Mavericks are lit. Texas is lit right now. If I was living in Texas, I would be lit. I would get a jersey with all 3 teams. Am I doing too much? I'm doing too much. Let me calm down. Okay. But yeah. Crazy stuff. Let me see chat. Kelsey said Mark Cuban just made a super expensive epilepsy pill cheap. I'm sorry. That's not funny. I'm not laughing at you. I promise. I'm sorry. Let's go. Shout out Mark Cuban. Shout out Shark Tank. Shout out a billionaire who actually care about people and doing something with their money. I'm still kind of I gotta calm down. Okay, yeah, like I said, this team is ready to go stupid, ready to go crazy. I'm really excited to see them play, and I feel like Cooper Flag's gonna just make adjustments. Remember, he was with Team USA practicing with them. The Team USA with LeBron, with Joel, Steph, KD, that Team USA, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Was Derek White, Drew Holiday. He was playing with championship guys. Like, and they said that he was just hooping like it was nothing. Okay? I'm just saying. I think he's going to come into the league and do what he been doing. All right. So, Denver Nuggets. Oh my gosh. Okay. By the way, Russell Westbrook declined his player option, so he won't be re-signing with the Denver Nuggets. I'm curious about this team because Michael Malone's gone. So we've only ever really saw Denver on the radar in this like past few years with Michael Malone and their championships. So I'm just curious to see how these guys are going to play without him. But with Bruce Brown, that was interesting to me and really random. I don't know how much bump he's going to get with this 1-year deal. Bruce Brown's always been like that guy that people bring off the bench. So, you know, I'm glad they're getting a little bit more of a bench because they had something going with Peyton Watson, right? Like a little bit. Who else? They had Dario Saric on the bench, never used him, which I to this day don't understand. I like Dario Saric on the Wizards, so I'm glad to see him gone. I forget where he landed, but we'll get to it. And then you see Cam Johnson, who to me, who would you take, Cameron or Michael Porter Jr.? Who would you rather have? Because Cameron, before he was like his injury this season, he was hooping. I like the way Cameron Johnson play. He could hit the three. He could finish downhill. He can handle the ball well. He's a young guy, so he makes dumb decisions, but, you know, we'll live with that. And then this shocked me. I did not see this yesterday. Tim Hardaway Jr. agreed to a 1-year deal. So he got out of Piston. He's out of the Pistons. And now he's with the Denver Nuggets. I'm hoping maybe, just maybe in this system, he will be consistent. Because he was with the Mavericks and he was inconsistent. He was with the Pistons, he was inconsistent. So I need this man to show up and to show us why he's a shooter, okay? Because seeing Tim Hardaway Jr. on the waivers for fantasy basketball would piss me off. I would just be like, bro, everybody wants to pick you up. We want you on our team, bro. Give us 4 points every time you make a three. But he's the most inconsistent fantasy player I've ever seen. Literally, like, ugh. Anyway, and then Jonas Valanciunas. So I think the Nuggets got both mostly front court, and some backcourt going, but mostly front court. And I'm excited. I really am. Because Jonas, again, he was on the Wizards. Then he went to Sacramento. That's where Dario Saric is. He's at Sacramento. So it looks like Sacramento, they did like a trade, with Valanciunas and Dario Saric. Dario Saric is now on Sacramento, which I like for him. I think Sacramento's going to use him more and use him better and more effectively than they use Jonas. Because they give guys like Trey Lyles a chance, you know, as opposed to Jonas, who has to play behind Sabonis. You know? So anyway, we'll get to them. Let's see what the chat say. Well, to be honest, they both averaged the same basically stats. So all they did was trade player for player. Both sides got a win-win. And then, okay, that's fair. Wody Mac on YT and all platforms said, Tim Hardaway Jr. fills the similar role like KCP did for them back then. So Contavious Caldwell Pope. I don't think KCP and personally, I don't think him and Tim Hardaway played the same. And I think Caldwell. I think Orlando. Like if Tim Hardaway were to go to Orlando, they wouldn't use him the same way that they used KCP when he was in Orlando. Like, and I don't know. KCP will hit that corner three. I just felt like he was more like a defensive presence, honestly. Like, I feel like he's more willing to do the small things, whereas though Tim Hardaway is just like a tall guy who could shoot. I don't know. Yes, thank you, Dame. Tim Hardaway defense does not compare to KCP. And then Womack said, and getting Cam is like getting a younger version of Michael Porter, who's more athletic. Yep. Porter's too expensive. Cam is cheaper. Cam don't know his worth yet. He don't know his worth yet. But I bet you on this Nuggets team, he going to learn his worth. And I hope the league learns it too. Okay. Let us move on to the Detroit Pistons. Okay. Paul Reed returns for a 2-year deal. Paul Reed is like one of those front court players that like have a special place in my heart. And I feel like Jalen Duren benefits from a guy like Paul Reed. I really enjoyed him when he was on the 76ers past couple seasons. And when he went to the Pistons, I was excited because he is like a presence that they really need. Oh, hold on one second. Okay. I had to shut the door. Okay. So yeah, Paul Reed re-signing for a 2-year deal. Perfect. He doesn't need to start. He can start behind. He can come off the bench behind Isaiah Stewart and Jalen Duren. That's no problem. It's no problem at all. They also added Karis LeVert and Duncan Robinson. Okay, Duncan Robinson on the Heat versus Duncan Robinson on the Pistons. I think he's going to play perfect alongside Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey when Jaden Ivey comes back. Like, I like this. Now, them losing Dennis Schroeder, I like Schroeder as a player a lot. But him going to the Kings, he's been on like 8 teams in the past like 2 years. So I don't think it's going to be much of a difference with him going to whatever team he goes to. But they lose Tim and get Duncan, who I think Duncan's way more consistent on the perimeter. And I don't sleep on Duncan Robinson, bro. I think a lot of people be sleeping on him. Don't sleep on him. I like this for the Detroit Pistons. Will they be top 10 again this season in the East? Yes, I can see it. Absolutely. Especially if Cade doesn't get hurt. I think Cade eventually is going to be one of the best players in the league. I truly, like, you see his size, the way he scores, how he leads his team. Cade going to end up being one of the best players. I can see it. I can see it happening. Okay, let's move on to the Golden State. Kevin Looney's gone. He's to the Pelicans. But I do want to show, they do have, this website has a little more in-depth for Golden State. They kind of chilling out right now. But here it is. So so Guy Santos, who, like I was saying yesterday, Guy Santos and Quentin Post started to see a little bit more playing time than Trace Jackson Davis, which was odd to me this season. They did not use him that much when last season he was very good. So I was very confused when I started to see his playing time start to reduce. And he ended up coming off the bench at the end of the season. I was very, very surprised. Even with Jimmy Butler added, he's like a big man. So I just wanted to point that out, that we have some of their front courts exercising their player options. So nothing too crazy with Golden State right now. And losing Kevon Looney was crazy work. It's like, how could y'all let him go? How? But we'll see. We'll see. He's not on the Pelicans. All right. Cam should have knew his worth from Phoenix. Bro, every player, if you want to go to, if you want to be a player that wants to like lose their career and not get better, go to Phoenix. If you're a player who's like, yeah, I don't want to get better as a player, go to Phoenix. I'm just saying. Also, Tyus Jones, I cannot remember where he's at right now. He might, hopefully we'll see it soon, but Tyus Jones is gone. I was so happy to see Tyus Jones not on Phoenix anymore. I forget where he's at. I forget where he landed, but it's good. It's good. We'll talk about it. Okay, Houston Rockets re-signing Steven Adams. So Kevin Durant and Steven Adams are reunited. And then they got Aaron Holiday. He agrees to a new deal. Jeff Green, just like, yeah, I'm going to stay. Look at this continuity of their team, bro. Look at the continuity. And continuity proves to produce winning record teams. For example, the Cleveland Cavaliers. Okay? So, now, people were talking about Jabari Smith Jr.'s contract and if he really is worth $100 million. What do y'all think? Do you think Jabari's contract, and we can get into depth on his contract, but do you think he's really worth $100 million? He re-signed for a $122 million rookie scale contract extension. What we thinking? They just got Clint Capella now, Kevin Durant, and Dorian Finney-Smith. I was surprised to this too. And Dorian is one of those guys you want on your team. And I think he's perfect. I think he's a better fit for them than a guy like Tari Eason, who I will admit is a great scorer. That's wonderful. But do you really need a Tari Eason alongside a Kevin Durant? I personally don't think so. You need a Dorian Finney-Smith alongside a guy like Kevin Durant, because Dorian Finney is going to do everything that he's not like, oh, I don't need to be that guy. He shows up and he plays defense. He's like a big presence. Like, I think that was a good grab by the Houston Rockets. Like, just looking at they're being really smart. And then Alperen Sengun, even though he can show us his ability to stay healthy as a big man, is super impressive. I'm just glad that he now has Steven Adams coming off, Clint Capella. Like, he can actually rest. Not saying he's going to rest, but it doesn't all fall on his shoulders to be that huge presence in the paint for them. Maybe he can work on his speed a little bit. Do we want him to pull back out and become one of those bigs like Miles Turner who can hit the three? I don't know. And then obviously everybody knows Dylan and Jalen are gone. But I like this. I'm excited to see how the Rockets are, especially with Kevin Durant on the team. And we're going to keep going. And Fred VanVleet too, one of my favorite point guards in the league. Definitely. Jay said, Houston going to be a problem. Fred and Durant have a great relationship off the court. I did not know that. I did not know that they had a good relationship off the court. Okay, Indiana Pacers. They chilling. Well, Miles is gone. He's on the Bucks. I was kind of happy to see Miles Turner go. But I'm concerned for the Pacers, because if you look at the other website for their free agency, it's not a lot going on. I'm concerned. I'm a little concerned for them. I'm not gonna lie. Like, y'all not making any moves while Halliburton's hurt. Nothing. And you lost Miles Turner. So, like, what are y'all doing? What's going on? Will we see something in the next day or so? Clint's best years, Woody Mack said, Clint's best years was in Houston. I guess at 31, he still got juice, but I think it could work. I do not like Clint Capella. I'm not a Clint Capella fan at all. At all. Okay, so LA Clippers. James Harden, he's going to be there for two more years, Clippers fans, so you can relax. Were you nervous? I was a little nervous. I was nervous for y'all, not gonna lie. But he's gonna come back. And Brook Lopez is also being added to the Clippers, which, again, I'm excited because you look up the Clippers roster, they don't have any other center besides my favorite, Zubac. So I'm excited because I feel like this is gonna take some pressure off of Zubac a little bit. You know, like, he needed that. They were so heavy on the backcourt and like two-way guys, stretches and stuff. Like, I'm really happy about this. Now, what will starting look like? I don't know, because generally Brook Lopez was starting and Bobby Portis was coming off the bench. So I'm not really sure what that's gonna look like for Brook and how they're gonna, if they're gonna play them in conjunction with each other, or because they're both centers. So probably Brook gonna come off the bench. I know darn well Yvonne not coming off the bench. Okay. Big Zoo. Dame, it's like we're the same person, bro. Zubac is literally like one of my all-time favorite bigs in the league. And like, yeah, I love watching him play. I also drafted him on 2 of my fantasy teams, by the way. I tried to get him and James Harden, but it didn't work out. Brook definitely coming off that bench. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Okay, moving on to the Los Angeles. Oh, Drew Eubanks got waived, but he did get picked up. So, I just don't remember where. Yesterday, it's so much information. Like, I try to remember and retain it, but it's hard for me to retain everything. Okay, Los Angeles Lakers. They added Jake LaRiviera. Now there's some stuff going on in the Los Angeles Lakers right now, and it's given broke. And I hate to be a girl that says that, because I know women say that all the time, like, it's giving. But I'm just saying, like, Austin Reeves declined his player option. I feel like Austin thinks he's worth more money, and they have yet to renegotiate anything. And then also, like, with LeBron too, we don't know what's going on with that. Apparently, like, there's speculations with LeBron, he could be retiring this year, so he's probably trying to work out a deal. Is he even gonna stay with the Lakers? Some people are like, why would he leave? So, like, we don't know what's going on with the Lakers right now. But one thing that this does not talk about, which is interesting, is they got more stuff going on. Hold on. Let me try to remember. Jordan Goodwin exercised his $2.35 million club option. And I could see them bringing him back. Oh, maybe that's it. And I was tripping. Oh, a coach. They did trade a coach for cash. So they traded coaches for a pick. I do want to point that out. So, I don't know. Austin Reeves might not be resigning with the Lakers. Breaking news, Giannis going to the Lakers. Are you being funny? Okay, yeah, you being funny. Anyway, we are going to get to how they waived Damian Lillard and, like, you know, what I think about that and stuff like that. People come on here and say anything. Y'all say anything. Manna bandana. You ain't even say hello. Just come in here saying that Giannis is going to the Lakers. Because, you know, they're looking for a big man. So it's like, it's not a complete stretch. But come on, bro. Got him. He definitely trolling. I would have told you if a trade happened. Thank you, Dame. All right. So, Memphis Grizzlies. Let's move on. Okay. One of their biggest power moves that the Memphis Grizzlies made was re-signing Santi Aldama. He is one of the reasons why. I mean, obviously, Jaren Jackson Jr., but he has become like a breakout star, someone that you could watch for. And they're giving him his money's worth with this 3-year deal. So Santi Aldama re-signing with the Grizzlies was such a smart move. He's going to be alongside Jaren Jackson Jr. And they also got Cam Spencer for a 2-year deal. They'll be adding Cole Anthony, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, and Ty Jerome. So this Grizzlies team is making moves. How all these players are going to play together, I'm really interested to see and curious. I said curious, interesting and curious. I'm curious to see what that's gonna look like. And then Ja Morant, what's going on with Ja? Is he still shooting his guns? Like, I don't know where he's at with everything. Matter of fact, we could just look that up now. I'm just gonna say Ja Morant status. Let's see. So he currently has, this is what AI says. He currently has a hip injury. Hip injuries are no joke. 4 days ago, he makes a big change to his social media profile, alluding to a nickname the fans gave him. Okay, breaking news. Okay. Oh, okay. He's gonna be launching a media company. Okay, so he's just like investments, nothing really basketball. All right, it looking kind of chill with y'all. It looking cool. Any trade rumors? Hip injury, shoulder injury, trade rumors. But is he even on free agency? I didn't see him on free agency. See what the chat say. Giannis to LA would break ESPN again. The reporters would lose their mind. Stephen A would be yelling for 3 days straight. That's funny. Okay. But yeah, I'm liking this Memphis Grizzlies team. I'm not mad at it. I was really glad to see Cole Anthony leaving. I think he was getting overshadowed by Jalen Suggs. Like, not saying that he's better than Jalen Suggs, but I just think this team will probably utilize him a little bit better. I like what they do with their guards, like Scottie Pippen Jr., Gigi Jackson, who else? And then Vince Williams Jr., who I think Vince Williams Jr. is going to play really well alongside Contavious Pope for sure. He came back off his injury, didn't have really that much of a chance to get into the groove of things. So I think this is gonna be a solid team. And I can anticipate Caldwell kind of leading the charge, being like a point guard almost, in a sense. Like, they might do like a two-way thing, and they could rely heavily now that they lost Desmond Bane. So very curious to see what that's going to look like for them. Okay, Miami Heat. They've been quiet too. They're kind of chilling right now. Like, they haven't made any crazy moves. But Davion Mitchell is returning. And what I like about Davion and what I don't like about Davion is, what I like about him is he came off the bench for Sacramento when De'Aaron Fox was hurt, and he's so small, but he still has a really great ability to finish at the rim. If you see the way this guy finishes, you're like, bro, how is he able to do that? And I like that about him. He'll also knock down the three. On the flip side of that, him in Miami being more of like a primary ball handler, floor general, he turns the ball over a lot, and I do not like that. He's careless with the ball. So, like, I just hope he doesn't F up this 2-year deal with them. This is like one of the best teams in the East for so many years in a row. So I feel like we don't need him doing too much. And then looks like Simon Fettuccino. I'm just gonna call him chicken fettuccine Alfredo. He had a decent season with the Pistons, but it wasn't really like that memorable. And I think it's just because of the system. They just didn't really like necessarily use him as often. But I think with this Miami Heat team, he's like similar to Jaime Jaquez in a way. So I'm interested to see how that's gonna pan out for them. All right. Okay, Milwaukee Bucks. Whew. We're going down the line here. How much time we're at? An hour? Okay. Let me hurry up. Kevin Porter Jr., loved him on the Clippers. Loved him. So when he got traded, I like this, that he's going to stay with the Bucks. They need some aggression for sure. Bobby Portis, hopefully he stops doing drugs. Taurean Prince, Jericho Sims, and then Gary Trent Jr. Again, a lot of continuity. We got a shooter. We got a defender/shooter. I'm liking it. Now, Mekick was one of those new day, because on the Hornets, Mekick was like becoming one of those guys similar to like how Ty Jerome was for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Like, I was like, okay, Mekick, like, let me find out you know how to score. Like, let me find out you really can shoot that thing. Like, let me find out. You know, so I'm excited to see. It's a way different team though. I'm really loud, but the Hornets and the Bucks are two completely different teams. So, but I want to see Miles Turner in this Bucks system, because I think it might work out for him, similar if not better than the Pacers team. And then Gary Harris, who he's coming from Orlando, and he's like another backcourt person that kind of was overshadowed by Cole Anthony, Jalen Suggs, when Markelle Fultz was there. Like, he was just overshadowed by all these other guys. So him getting on this team, you might see him coming off the bench in that second unit. a lot alongside Sims and stuff like that. So we'll see. A 2-year deal. That's not bad. Not bad at all. But yeah, they waived Damian Lillard. How y'all feel about that? I'm not surprised. I don't think Damian wanted to be there, bro. And he has an Achilles injury. Like, Dame still doesn't have a championship. And the Bucks really disappointed him. I feel like he thought that was going to be his time. So he's waived, but doesn't mean he's not valuable still. So we can see something happen. This ain't it for Dame. Where can Damian Lillard land? What if Dame goes to the Lakers? Dame at the Lakers. Dame should go to the Lakers. I bet Reeves will sign that deal now. Wow. I don't know if I'm like on the same page with y'all or what. But I was just being funny. But that's funny that you said that. Wody Mac said, I see Kevin Porter getting a second shot after the allegations. Guess it died down enough to where no one care enough to complain. Listen. We already know that these guys are beating on women, okay? Miles Bridges beat his case. Why do we think Kevin wasn't going to? You feel me? I'm just saying. Just saying, bro. I'm not surprised. The thing about the NBA, they do not tolerate gambling, fraud, or cheating. But they will tolerate abuse. They will tolerate drug abuse and domestic violence. I'm just kidding. But I'm not kidding. But I'm just being funny. Anyway, Ayton just cleared his waivers and now officially a free agent. Let the chaos begin. I mean, DeAndre Ayton was such a disappointment. I hope he does not get hurt again. Cause seeing him hurt. He let freshmen rookies take his spot, bro. They pushed him off that team, and we'll get to the Raptors, we'll get to the Trailblazers. But I was like, come on, Ayton, like he let Klingon and the other guy just kind of take his spot for real. It was like, what the heck? Okay, Minnesota Wolves, very, very, very excited for Naz Reid. I feel like Naz Reid is one of those players that people are sleeping on. I think he's a really good player, and the Wolves, I hope, see his value for more than just like being that tall stretch big. Like, he can create plays for his team. He has a great court vision and he can hit that shot. I just think they and he's okay in the paint too. I like him in the paint. So I think they just need to utilize him better. I hate that they're signing Julius Randle. I literally cannot stand Julius Randle, but I think they just have no other option. So they're like, all right, Julius, let's try this again. And then Joe Ingles was like super random, but we'll take the tenure, we'll take the experience. They saying goodbye to Nickel, which I think was good because they got Jaden. Jaden already proved to us in playoffs and even in the regular season that like you don't really need Nickel. You don't need another guy like Jaden McDaniels. And then I'm guessing, they're bringing back Dante, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, y'all see, blah, blah, blah. Okay, let's keep going. New Orleans Pelicans. Okay, so Sadiq Bey's there, who I thought he was going to stay at the Wizards, but nope, he is gone. And then they also just signed Kevon Looney and then Jordan Poole. So Jordan Poole used to play with Kevon Looney, and Jordan Poole also played with Sadiq Bey. So the fact that all these guys kind of already play with each other, know each other, that's a good sign, right? And then you got DeJounte Murray. Now CJ's gone, Bruce Brown's gone, and Kelly Olynyk's gone. So and then they signed a big guy. We didn't even talk about this though for the Wolves. They signed that 7-foot French center who's going to play alongside Rudy Gobert. And then they signed New Orleans. Who they signed? They signed somebody big from the draft that was a great pickup. Poole going to turn up this year. Yeah. Because CJ McCollum turned up this year. Like, the Pelicans, they need that. And Oh, Jordan Clarkson was on the Jazz. Who else do they have? Brandon Ingram's gone. Like, the Pelicans, they need someone like Poole that's gonna score. DeJounte's hurt right now, but he should be back. So Jordan, DeJounte. Actually, let's look at their roster real quick. Oh, they got Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy the third. Those guys are solid. One of them might move to the bench though. One of them might be coming off the second unit now. I don't know. They got Jose Alvarado definitely coming off the bench, maybe third unit. Sorry, Jose. I'm just kidding. He might come in the second unit for real. Let's see. Jeremiah Fears. Right. But he's a guard. Okay. Oh, he did get signed. Oh. Zion. Bruce is gone. Herbert's still there. CJ's gone. Alfred Payton. Isn't he gone? Oh, no, he signed. He just signed. Okay. He's new. DeJounte. Brandon Boston's gone. He declined his player option or club option or whatever. Bro, I thought that said Austin Reeves for a second. I was like, what? I was like, no way. No way. Okay, I don't know what this is, but okay. Oh, Misi. I forgot about Misi. And I drafted him. I had him and CJ on my team at one point. And people were hitting me up like, bro, those were such sleepers because they left CJ on the waivers. I was like, what point guard does the Pelicans have? And I know CJ doesn't normally do that, but like, who else do they have? Obviously, he was going to play a lot. So, yeah, I picked him up off of waivers. People were sleeping on him. I cannot believe he did not get drafted. I wasn't going to draft him. But I was going to pick him up off of waivers. And then I grabbed Misi when he started hooping, too. And I always like to grab, like, a guard and a center that are from the same team. Even sleepers like those two. Because they're guaranteed, if they're balling and doing really good, that's a guaranteed 60 just from those two. I'm just saying. Anyway, 60 points. Fantasy points. Jordan Hawkins, I think he re-signed. Yep. And then I don't think Robinson's staying. Oh no, he is. Is he? I don't know. I think he has a player option. But yeah. I ain't mad at this team at all. I like what they added. I like the direction that they're headed. Okay, I'm starting to get concerned with this black stuff, y'all. I'm not going to lie. I think my computer's just working really, really hard. It's a lot going on. Okay, so let me check the chat. New Orleans a better cast than the Wizards? No, I don't think so. And we'll get to the Wizards, but no. Maybe if like Zion stay healthy, DeJounte definitely better than players on the Wizards for sure. But I don't believe in the Pelicans like that for real. I just don't. I think Alex Sarr on the Wizards, who's going to be his first year pro, I think he's better than Misi. You know? Like, he's way better than Misi. I forget who else is on. They got, Chris Middleton. He's a champ, you know? I'm not saying he better than those guys like one-on-one or whatever, but like we're talking like from a basketball perspective, they're getting a lot more veterans on this Wizard team than what they had before. Leaders. I think CJ's like a more well-liked guy and leader than Jordan Poole is. Like Jordan Poole, cool, but he not no leader. You feel me? So I'm worried for them in that sense. Who's going to be the leader on their team? Jose Alvarado? You feel what I'm saying? Like they need like a leader that's going to keep them focused. And everywhere Poole goes, I just get concerned for like the culture and the leadership of the team. That's all. So who's going to have a better year? I think the Wizards are going to have a way more better year this season than what they did last season and the season before. So okay, New York Knicks. Oh, There's talks that Mike Brown might become the head coach for the New York Knicks. I think it's like pretty much locked down that it's going to be him. And then they did a really smart job here adding more so Yabusele than Jordan Clarkson. Now, I'm excited to see Jordan Clarkson not on the Utah Jazz, but Yabusele from the 76ers was such like a surprising, refreshing star. And I'm sad at the 76ers that he's not going to be there no more, because like when Joel Embiid wasn't going to show up, they started Yabusele. And he was, like, showing up. Like, obviously, he had his games, but for the most part, like, he was a huge contributor. So, for this Knicks team, who has a terrible bench, sorry, Cameron Payne, sorry, Precious, you feel me? Yabusele is a gem. And then Jordan Clarkson, we'll see. You feel what I'm saying? He has his moments. Can he stay healthy is the real question. So, I feel like they're on the right track to getting a better bench, and hopefully Mike Brown will not commit malpractice like Thibs did. Okay, let me just refresh this maybe. We're almost done because we're at the O's. We got a couple teams left. Couple teams. Yeah, we're at the end here, fellas, or community. Sorry, it's mostly guys who be talking now, who be following along. Okay. I might have to just. I'm gonna take this away for right now because it's very distracting, and yeah. So, Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously they extended Shea contract. SGA will obviously 4 more years with OKC because, like, duh, come on. And then Jalen Williams and AJ Mitchell are returning. Jalen Williams, the center, not Jalen Williams, the guard. I think he's still just, like, under contract. He was not on the free agency or anything like that. So we're good there. They haven't really changed anything else because, like, why would they? You know what I mean? Okay, Memphis Grizzlies. So we know, not Memphis Grizzlies, sorry. Orlando Magic. We know Desmond Bane got traded there. This is where Tyus Jones landed, and I'm so excited. Because Tyus Jones, he, to me, is better than Cole Anthony. He's better than Jalen Suggs. He's better than a lot of guards, point guards. I think he's like a top 20, 25 point guard in the league, for sure. And the fact that he went to Phoenix and they didn't, like, it was just too much for him. They didn't really need him that much. Like, they needed him and they used him when Bradley Hill was out and, you know, when Booker was out and stuff like that. But Tyus Jones, he came from the Wizards, went to Phoenix, and now he's on Orlando. And I'm like, yeah, I like this. It's only for 1 year, though. But him alongside Paolo, I like it. I like it a lot. He knows how to play with guys who are ball dominant. He's not a ball dominant guard. He's like a legit point guard. And I think that's why I like him so much. So I'm really excited when I saw that's where he landed and that he's out of Phoenix. Thank goodness. But Cole Anthony's gone. KCP's gone. Gary Harris is gone. Okay. 76ers, they're re-signing Justin Edwards to a 3-year deal. And Eric Gordon is getting re-signed. Boo. I don't really like Eric Gordon, bro. He getting too old. He getting way too old. Looks like we have a trade in the chat. DeAndre Ayton to the Lakers. $18 minutes ago, he's expecting to sign with Okay, I'm going to go to this article. It's called, this website is called Lake Show Life. It says the Lakers have a problem on their hands. If there was a move that reeked of desperation, it's absolutely this one. Bro, I said that. Like, the Lakers are like, are they good? Like, what is going on with them? Multiple interested teams expect DeAndre Ayton to commit to the Lakers on waivers today at 5 p.m. From a pure talent standpoint, Ayton can be argued as the best that the Lakers could do in the 2025 free agency period. The best that they can do is crazy work. Like, whoever wrote this article, they obviously love the Lakers because it's like Lake Show life. Oh, man. But they said it's puzzling to see Ayton become available because the former Portland Trailblazer center was locked up on a large contract figure before the team decided they no longer wanted his services around. And I said this. Listen. It says it's reports from Jason Quick of The Athletic dropped his eye-opening report following the buyout that the former Blazers big man was described in a way that was all but positive. Quick wrote, they couldn't live with his bad ways, the tardiness to team flights and practices, the skipping of rehabilitation appointments. Fans saw him slam chairs when he was taken out of games. There were tantrums in the locker room when he was sidelined for poor effort. These men are getting paid millions of dollars to act like this. It pisses me off. Send him to the Phoenix Suns now. It's like, no. Oh my goodness. That is so funny, bro. Okay. Yeah, the Lakers must be desperate. What is going on? Are they about to lose Bronny? I feel bad for Luka. I feel so bad for Luka. Okay. We have... Bro, what is going on with this? I think my computer is overheating, y'all. I only got a couple more minutes left in me. Or my computer does. It's not even me. It's the computer. It's struggling right now. Okay. So... we know the Suns got Dylan and Jalen and Mark Williams is on that team now. Portland Trailblazers. Okay, we were just on that topic. Drew Holiday's with them. Anthony Simons is gone and DeAndre is gone. But other than that, like, we're going to see the Scoot Hendersons and then the underwhelming Chris Murray. Hopefully he'll have a better season. And then Trailblazers. They have... Oh, what's his name? Jeremy Grant. What's going on with Jeremy? He had a bad season too. I mean, he was hurt. But there's Jeremy Grant, and then who else is on the Blazers that I really like? Tumani Kamara. I like Tumani Kamara a lot. Okay, Sacramento Kings. Again, they got Dennis Schroeder and Dario Saric. I love it. Jake LaRivera is gone, but he will be on the Lakers. And then Jonas Valanciunas is also gone. Now, the Spurs. Again, I said this earlier, but the best deal that the Spurs picked up from the waivers was Luke Kornet. That was such a great grab for them. I think he's going to fit perfectly, seamlessly in their lineup. And you're going to see him get a lot of burn because Sandro Makalashvili is going to the Raptors. And when Wemby was out, it was him and Chris Bassey. Chris Bassey is not returning to the Spurs. So you're really going to have Luke Kornet possibly end up starting for them alongside Wemby. So I'm excited to see that. Okay, for the Raptors, They got lucky. Jakob Poeltl has agreed to a 4-year deal. Okay, he's like almost a double machine. Scotty Barnes is up there of probably one of the most slept on, in my opinion, players in the league. He can low key get a triple double one of these days, like be a triple double machine. Like he gets a lot of boards, assists, and points. He's like really long. His wingspan's like 7 foot. He's huge. Huge. And then they got RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickly. Now I had an argument with somebody one day about whose team this is. Whose team is the Raptors team? I said it's Scotty Barnes' team. This person said it's RJ Barrett's team. Now, granted, they both play the exact same 3 positions, because if you look at their thing, they're listed as a guard, a forward, and they're like listed as a shooting guard, a small forward, and a forward. Like they have 3 different tags for them, so they can play in multiple positions. They averaged around like the same points, but Scotty Barnes played in more games than RJ Barrett. So it's like, when I look at the team, RJ, while he is good, you know, he was decent on the Knicks and stuff. I'm just saying, like, I think it's Scotty's team. I don't think it's RJ Barrett's team. And RJ Barrett just got there. You feel me? So, anyway, they got Grady Dick. Who else did they got? What other front court do they have? It's Scotty's team. Thank you. It's Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram's on the Raptors too, right? Thank you, Jay. I think it's Scotty's team too. You feel me? Anyway, Utah Jazz. They got Nurkic. I feel bad for them, but Walker Kessler is still on the free agency, and I don't think Lauri Markkanen's going anywhere. They lost Colin Sexton, so they're probably really gonna heavily focus on Isaiah Collier and Keontae George, for their, and Jordan Clarkson's gone. So this is a perfect time for them. And honestly, now that I'm starting to really think about it, the Lakers couldn't get John Collins. They really, like, John Collins, to me, I like him. He's a center, but he has like forward potential as well. Like, he's a big dude, and he's listed as a center. You telling me you rather get DeAndre Ayton? Okay. I gotta look at John Collins' stats real quick, because I think I might be overdoing it with that. He didn't play in that many games, but the games he did play in, he averaged 18 points. He shot 52% from the field, 39% from the 3. He averaged 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. In his career, like, let's talk about his career stats. That was just the season. He averages 16 points, 54% from the field goal, 36% from the 3.